His face right now is a little... So it really is an honor to be speaking to you this morning, on the 4th of July weekend. It's our nation's 240th birthday, which is something pretty special. So Pastor asked me to share with you my perspective of the challenges our nation faces in our community as well, and why I have hope for what comes ahead. So to give you a little bit of my personal background, when I was 16, I served as my township zoning board member. So that meant I helped to create policies that were good for businesses and for families, kept everyone safe. But of course, also being the kid that could tell my neighbors how high their pool fences were made me really popular in the area, which of course it didn't. Summer before I left them for college, I interned for Congressman LaTourette's office in Paynesville, and that was followed each summer afterwards by an internship in our state house in Columbus with then State Rep Casey Kozlowski, a position with one of our major political parties down in D.C. the following summer, and then my final college summer working on Capitol Hill with our Congressman Dave Joyce. So since returning from college last June, I serve on the executive committee of one of our parties here in the county, and as Pastor said, won election last November. So at age 22, I became the youngest here in the county, focusing on our finances in the township and working with the trustees there. So I've not only seen, but I've experienced government at every level, local, state, and national. And I can share with you that we need prayers as a nation. Winston Churchill's comment that democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others, it holds some weight. Turn on your news or check your Snapchat, Discover. I check that occasionally. And it's clear to see that we have many things to bring to God. Our national debt is just below $20 trillion. Think of that number. An opioid and prescription drug overdose epidemic is quite literally sweeping through the country. Our labor force participation rate right now is at its lowest that's been in many decades. We are involved at the very least 8 military conflicts that you and I can know about. Who knows really how many? During this church service, 2 Americans will be killed from gun violence, and roughly 5 will commit suicide. College costs and debt are increasing at twice the inflation rate, and it's almost as high for healthcare costs also. So we have had many struggles. We've always had crises, national concerns, but in fact right now, in reality, there's never been a more prosperous, safe, really a better time to live, especially where we are. So then what makes today different? Why do 4 in 5 Americans not trust the government to do the right thing for any of those concerns I mentioned? Why do our 2 major candidates for president not have the trust of a majority of Americans, let alone our approval in the polls? Why is it that we are more informed of the challenges facing our country than ever before in our history, but we feel we can do nothing about them? I have 3 responses to that I'll typically give people when they ask me, because truthfully, there is so much we can do. My first response is to pray. 1 Timothy 2 instructs us to pray for all of those in authority. When we pray, we do not do so begrudgingly. We do not do so with a stone heart towards those in authority because we disagree with their politics. We pray for them in love. My second response to those who believe there's nothing we can do for our nation is to get involved at the local level. Guess how many elections last year in the state of Ohio were decided by 1 vote? 3 times pastor's age, that he typically says. Roughly 88, so 29 times 3. Roughly 88 elections in the state of Ohio last year. 1 vote. Right here in Ashtabula County in 2010, Casey Kozlowski became our state rep by just 43 votes. In 2015 in Conneaut, Judge Carl DeFranco won his seat by just 21 votes. So voting is important, it's critical, but it's not enough. It's not enough because we need people to be on that ballot. We need people to volunteer with campaigns. We need people to serve on boards and commissions, to attend meetings, and to share input. Out of all the levels of government that I have worked in, I truly, honestly believe that the local level serves people the best, and it's most able to help our community right here. At no other level will representatives be neighbors of those they serve. At no other level will you have the cell phone number or the email of the person that you can reach out to if there's a problem. At no other level is accountability so high and cost overhead is so low. And best yet, you can see the progress that you're making next door, down the street, when you volunteer and you serve locally. People hear government, politician, even the word politics, as we heard last night, is a red flag, a no-go zone for polite conversation. Tom's laughing. We read the phrase, disagree without being disagreeable, and yet we see so much disagreeable talk coming from those around us on the important issues that affect each of us. Good, honest people stay away from governing. They stay away from beginning campaigns, getting involved, because politics has become a game, a horse race, more about personality and ego than actually about helping others. But the root of politics, the very base of the word, means the focus on community and people, wholeness. We must pray, we must encourage those who will break the mold of rhetoric and self-serving political games to enter the mix and be that shining example for others in our community. So many people have asked why I would want to be in politics, especially at this age. Why would I want to subject myself to ridicule or the public eye or all the inconveniences of public service? It's because our county is at a crossroads. We are beyond the point of inconveniences. We are at the point of need right here. Every year, 500 people leave Ashtabula County and never come back. Every year, hundreds of families are affected by the drug overdose in our neighborhoods. And every year, the fund gap in our schools, parks, community centers, it gets bigger and bigger. But yet every year, officials run unopposed, boards go unfilled, and city council meetings are unattended by the public. As many needs as there are in our county, there are just as many opportunities to make a difference and to change the course of where we'll be going. Just as many opportunities to be a leader our community can rally around and lift others up. No one can say that our county lacks potential. I hear it every day when people come to visit. There's so much here. No one can say we lack the ingredients for success. But part of that success, very bluntly, is you. Concerned residents who know we have needs and who know we can do better. All you have to do is ask how. My personal path started just 6 short years ago, before them being in Virginia, when I leaned over to a trustee and asked, how can I help? And finally, my third response to those who ask why the national government isn't working is that government is not God. It cannot be God. We cannot replace God with the government. Because the government is you. It's me. It's people. It's an earthly institution. To paraphrase James Madison in the Federalist Papers, if men were angels, and I can promise you we aren't, we wouldn't need a government. If men were governed by angels, and I promise you we are not, we wouldn't need laws. But by our very nature, we, the people, are fallible. We make mistakes. We'll let others down. When too much faith and expectation and responsibility is placed in the hands of people who may have the best intentions at heart, but cannot fix everything. When they fail, we often equate that failure with hopelessness, that there is nothing which can be done. We expect too much from them and think that they should fix the problems that they simply can't. You see, so many of the challenges we face today are not economic or social or trade or policy related. The challenges are spiritual. People's hearts are broken. Their souls are not well. If we loved each other truly as a community, as a nation, loved each other, we would not have the crises of addiction that plagues the nation. We would not turn on the TV to a different mass shooting each week. We would not have to ask ourselves if Wall Street or corporate America has our best interests in mind. We cannot rely on government to fix the hearts of the broken. We cannot just be dissatisfied and check, not approve when challenges go unaddressed. Instead, we must pray and we must act. By volunteering, becoming informed, we help to improve what is possible and rely on God to finish the work. Because if we acted in the way that we were taught here, in this house, brought those virtues to our homes, to our families, and then out to our community and our nation, the concerns of today would not be the concerns of tomorrow. They'll be replaced by the hope only He can bring a lost and broken world. On this July 4th, I'm humbled, let us all be humbled, that we can have this very conversation in this very space. Let's remember all that we have to be thankful for, to live in a nation that has struggles, a community that has struggles, absolutely, but also grants us the ability to serve as witnesses and agents for change that we have the potential to become. As 1 Peter 4 instructs us, we must use our God-given gifts to the betterment of the heavenly kingdom. We must also work as a Christian community here, though, in the earthly kingdom as well. I urge you to not be disheartened with what you see and what you hear, but take the example of those who came before us and make the path great for those who have not yet been given the gift of not only being an American, but being a child of God also. So thank you. I hope you have a great weekend.